Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our fourth Health Matters with Hatsuno Kiseki Facebook Live session. Thank you for joining us. Today's topic is the potential role of postbiotics on cancer, specifically on the rise of cancer in youth. Cancer has become a leading cause of death worldwide, and it's concerning to see the rise of cancer cases in young people. However, recent studies suggest that postbiotics may have anti-cancer properties. And just a reminder, while postbiotics may not be a cure for cancer yet, studies suggest that they may be useful in helping to prevent and treat certain types of cancer. This is what the studies are doing at the moment. So in this session, we have Dr. Lim Wong Hao to share his insights and expertise on this topic. Unfortunately, Dr. Siva just called and he told us that he can't make it today because he's stuck with, not stuck with, he's still with a patient and, he can't join us today. So, really, really very, very sorry, but I'm sure Dr. Lim will be able to share more knowledge with all of you today. So, so please feel free to ask any questions you have in the comment section below, and we'll try our best to answer them during this session. Also very important thing is if you have topics that you feel passionate about and you would like us to talk about it, do let us know in the comment section, or you can also message us privately, and we will definitely try to make it happen. So if you have topics that you would like us to discuss, talk about, or need help with, and you think that it is beneficial to other people, do let us know. Okay, so without further ado, over to you, Dr. Lim.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark. Try to share my screen.
Can
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
Right, so I'm gonna share my screen here. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. And thank you very much, Mark, for the introduction. So today I'll be talking about the evidence-based postbiotic research on cancer. So it is more like the research that had been done from previous researchers worldwide, and they have actually reported on how that the postbiotic can so-called help in the cancer treatment, as well as it could be as part of the adjunct therapy for the cancer treatment as well. So what I have compiled and what I'm going to say today is I picked some of the evidence-based or some of the reports that they have done on postbiotics on cancer. Then I'm going to make a summary and make a review and share the knowledge of what are the reports that they have done on cancer from the postbiotics in today's sharing. So today I would like to discuss about the promising research on the probiotics for cancer treatment, as I mentioned earlier. So I guess everyone knows here, postbiotic basically are the metabolic of what? Metabolic of byproducts for the probiotic mechanism. For what kind of mechanism that has been shown to have numerous health benefits. So that would be including their potential in use for cancer therapy. So in cancer or in research in particular, in order for a certain material or a certain drugs or certain ingredients for it to be work well as a drug for cancer or for any diseases, in this case of postbiotics, it needs to go the preclinical study. Preclinical here refers to like it has to be like cell study, it has to be like in animal study. Then if it shows the promising results, then it will go for clinical study, which involves the human. So these are the stages for development for it to be on the pharmacy shelf and for the customers to buy. So the research for the preclinical research that they have done on postbiotics are actually a lot, and they are all evidence-based, which shows that the potential for the postbiotics to be part of the cancer therapy. So first, I would like to discuss about the current state of cancer treatment. Now you could see that despite the advances in medical technology, so medical technology and also some of the treatment options, we could see that cancer remains a leading cause of death worldwide. Now, we could see that a lot of our relatives or even our friends, they pass away because of the cancer. Some also because of other diseases. But still, cancer is one of the leading causes worldwide. So having said, we have traditional cancer therapies, so such as chemotherapies, radiotherapies. Both of these therapies normally will have huge side effects or maybe unwanted side effects. And this could be part of a factor that lead to the long-term health complications. So in this case, the postbiotics actually come in. Okay, so postbiotics, some of the researchers, they have done a lot of research where they have found there are certain compounds or certain ingredients that found in the postbiotics that will be very helpful in the cancer treatment. So the researchers are actually investigating the potential for postbiotics in the cancer treatment, and you could see that some of their results are actually promising. We could see that some of the studies have shown that probiotics can selectively target the cancer cells. That means it will go direct to the cancer cells, but they will leave the healthy cells unharmed, or they won't kill the healthy cells. So this is a very, I would say, a very interesting discovery, because it provides a potential safer alternative to traditional cancer therapies. If let's say traditional cancer therapies, like for chemotherapy, it will actually kill the healthy cells as well, even though the chemotherapy is killing all the cancer cells, but it is still killing the healthy cells too. So in this case, I pick one of the a journal that has been published in Journal of Traditional Medicine, which is published in 2017. So this group of researchers, they investigated the effects of postbiotic on colon cancer cells in mice. Okay, so what have they found? They actually found that the treatment with postbiotics resulted in a significant reduction in tumor growth. So the tumor, like the tumor, the cancer cells. So the postbiotic helped to reduce the tumor. And overall, it improved the survival rates compared to the control group. Control group means there's no treatment at all. So in science or in experiment research, we need to compare between the cancer of the group together with the control group, which is a non-cancer group. So not only that, this group of researchers, they found that postbiotic also can induce the cell death in cancer cells, which means that it actually kills the cancer cells and they leave the cells, the healthy cells unharmed. Unharmed here means they don't kill the healthy cells. I would say that this is a very crucial finding, because one of the major challenges in cancer treatment is the ability to select the target cancer cells. While we reduce or minimize the damage to the healthy cells. Because if let's say we keep on killing all the cancer cells and also killing the healthy cells as well, now the body will feel very weak. The body will feel very weak because the healthy cells are being killed together with the cancer cells. So if we can see here, the report actually saying that the ability of postbiotic to selectively target the cancer cells while making the healthy cells alive makes potentially safer than the traditional cancer therapies. When I read this, they also investigated what is the mechanism, okay, behind the anti-cancer effect of the postbiotic, and they found that these postbiotics could be some of the compounds in the postbiotic. They can actually modulate the expressions of the genes. That means they could actually, lock the gene and also open some of the genes in the body itself to kill or to generate some of the cancer killing mechanism. So this will suggest that these probiotics will have a very broad range effect on the cancer cells, not only just killing the cancer cells. So they have different mechanism of building up the immune system. So that is how they actually reported. So in a nutshell, it actually says that they provide a valuable experience or evidence for the potential of postbiotic in the cancer treatment. So the ability to select the target cancer cells while leaving the healthy cells live. So it's their ability to modulate the expression of the genes in cancer cell made this postbiotic promising research for the development to be part of the cancer therapy. So this is what reported in the Journal of Translational Medicine. So I actually go and find and search some of the journals or some of the reported studies where they have done on breast cancer. So they did breast cancer in mice. So they found that the postbiotics that were used in combination with chemotherapy. So this is a little bit different because they integrate the postbiotics and the chemotherapy together. And the treatment was actually very effective at reducing the tumor size. And at the same time, they improved the survival rate. Survival rate if they compare with the patient that received chemotherapy alone. So in this case, we can actually say that this postbiotic has the potential to help the breast cancer study. And this study has also found that the postbiotic, when it is added to chemotherapy, the treatment actually was more effective for fighting the cancer than the chemotherapy alone. So there is the integration between the chemotherapy as well as the postbiotic. So they compare chemotherapy, postbiotic treatment, and also compare with the chemotherapy alone, and they found that chemotherapy plus postbiotic gave a better effect. So they also observed that the combination of this treatment reduced the size of the tumor in mice. So we would say that this is a positive sign. Positive sign of the cancer is actually responding to the treatment itself. So these mice that receive the combination treatment has a better chance of surviving compared to those that receive the chemotherapy only. So the conclusion I can make from this study, they actually suggested that postbiotic could potentially enhance the effectiveness of chemotherapy in breast cancer treatment. So in terms of targeting the cancer cell, postbiotics, they actually found it could be the immune boosting properties. So that will actually help the body's immune system fight off cancer and other diseases. So if any one of you had joined the first session of the sharing, I actually shared about the result of what we did on the Kiseki on breast cancer cells. So it actually shows a positive effect on the breast cancer cell itself. So this is we called it as quite synergistic with the paper or with the research that has been reported for postbiotic. Next, I actually searched for a better journal, which is a Nature Communications. So it's one of the very high impact journal. Look at the the natural killer cells. So what are natural killer cells? We call it NK cells. It is actually a very important part of the immune system that help to identify and destroy the cancer cells. So here, the researchers, they use the postbiotic, they treat it with the NK cells, and they actually found that it is very effective in identifying and also destroy the cancer cells. So this means that the postbiotic could potentially be used to help to boost the immune system better to fight the cancer. So this could be part of the immunotherapy that use postbiotic in cancer treatment. So in a simpler term, the postbiotic are being studied for their potential to boost the immune system's ability to fight cancer. So from this study, they say that the postbiotic enhance the activity of the natural killer cells, which are important immune cells that help identify and destroy the cancer cell. So overall, we can see here, this study actually provides a promising evidence for the potential of postbiotics in cancer treatment. Nevertheless, for what I can see here, further research is actually needed to fully understand how the postbiotic actually affect the immune system and how they can actually help in treating the cancer in humans. So now we know that the postbiotic has the potential, and more research needs to be done in order to see how it can actually help in treating the cancer. Okay, I searched for more journals, for more recent journals. So we have a Journal of Gastrointestinal Oncology in 2020, which is about like 2.5 years ago. So they actually investigated the effects on postbiotic on patients with the, what we call it as the non-small cell lung cancer. So in other words, lung cancer. So for those who are receiving the immunotherapy, as I mentioned earlier. So what is immunotherapy? It is a type of cancer treatment that works by helping immune system to recognize and attack the cancer cells. So it is like to build up your immune system in the body that help you to kill the cancer cells in your body itself. So what has this the result of the study? They found that the treatment with postbiotic actually improved the effectiveness of immunotherapy. So again, it is like the integrated. So it's like the immunotherapy together with the postbiotic. And it's actually improved the progression of free survival in patients for the patients who actually involved in the immunotherapy treatment. So again, I can make a conclusion that the postbiotic could potentially be used to enhance the effectiveness of immunotherapy in patients with the lung cancer. So if I've tried to put it in a simpler term or in a more layman term, for now, the postbiotic are being studied for their potential to make immunotherapy more effective in treating the lung cancer. So from what the study here, it actually say that the treatment with postbiotic actually improved the response rate and the survival rate. So overall, we could see that the study provides a promising evidence for the potential of postbiotic in enhancing the effectiveness immunotherapy in cancer treatment. So we have the chemotherapy, we have the radiotherapy, we have the immunotherapy. So if we integrate with postbiotic, the study, the report actually says that okay, it actually help a lot. So in my opinion, yes, it do help a lot. It does help a lot. However, we need a further research to fully understand how the postbiotic actually affect the immune system, and also how does it determine whether this effect can be replicated in a larger study. So in the synergistic result that we have obtained, so we actually did on the Hatsuno Kiseki Royal on the breast cancer cell, as I mentioned earlier. So based on the current evidence and also based on the report that I presented in the first sharing, so it is suggested that the postbiotic could be used as a complementary therapy in cancer treatment. And the Kiseki itself, we did study, and it has a beneficial effect on the breast cancer cell, and it actually boosts the immune system from the breast cancer cell itself. Yep. So, yep, I think that's all for my presentation today. If you have any questions, I'm free to answer any of them. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Lim, for your very insightful lecture. Yes, I have questions, and I've posted it in the comment section. So can we say that postbiotics is host supporting for people going through chemotherapy or radiotherapy?
All right. Based on the study that they have reported, they actually did the comparison. So
Yeah.
those who are on chemotherapy and those who are on chemotherapy plus a postbiotic. So the result actually shows that the patient with the chemotherapy and postbiotic show a better effect than those who actually receive chemotherapy alone. So that shows that the postbiotic has a potential to enhance the chemotherapy in terms of the cancer treatment. Yeah.
Does that mean also that people who are going through chemotherapy does not need to, perhaps when the chemo was designed for them, maybe they need to do 16 rounds, but with postbiotics, perhaps the chemotherapy rounds is maybe reduced to 10 or something like that. Is that what it's saying?
I think that's pretty much depending on what type of cancer and also the drugs of itself. So
Okay.
it depends on the oncologist doctor, depends on how many rounds, how many regime of the chemotherapy that's needed for a particular chemotherapy, and also depending on the condition of the patient itself. Yeah.
Okay. In the research that you have seen or have gone through, is there any studies that have shown that postbiotics react or disrupt the chemo treatment or radiotherapy treatment?
Could you repeat the question?
Is there any research that shows that postbiotics disrupts the chemo treatment or the radiotherapy treatment?
Disrupts the chemotherapy. So far, based on my study, based on my literature search, I have not found any. So most of the result that I found is actually a positive outcome for the chemotherapy, and also some at the preclinical and also clinical research.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I have a question from Dr. Tan. What are the main reasons for the rise of cancer incidence in recent years? And is it possible for postbiotics to reduce cancer risks?
Okay. The rise of cancer incidence, I think it has a lot of causes. Could be from our food, could be from our lifestyle, it could be from from the working life, and so like pressure and so on and so forth. Yeah. So is it possible for postbiotics to reduce cancer risk? Okay, from the reported studies, postbiotics is part of the chemo prevention. That means like cancer prevention is a preventive. It could be the preventive to reduce the cancer risk, because postbiotic contains a lot of we call it as the so-called the compounds that are chemo preventive, or they are anti-cancer agent in the postbiotic itself. So from the literature search from the previous study, we also could see that some of the postbiotic actually kill a lot of cancer cells in the preclinical setting. So yes, I think it is possible to reduce the cancer risk.
Okay. Yeah, Oh, there is a question by Rich Williams. How are the postbiotics administered?
How are postbiotics administered?
Yeah. So I'm
Mr.
not
Rich?
sure whether Rich, are you talking about Hatsuno Kiseki postbiotics or in the research that Dr. Lim has just presented?
Probably I could give a general answer.
Yeah.
It depends on the instructions given by whatever postbiotic that you are taking. I think in this case, if it is for Kiseki case, I think the instructions that given is actually sufficient for you to take the postbiotic. As for others postbiotic, if it is used for prevention, I think like you need to follow the guidelines by the settings that have been laid out. Like for Kiseki, yes, you can just follow the guideline that has been stated.
Yeah. So, Rich, if you are referring to Hatsuno Kiseki products, then it is a drink format which you take it 20 ml in the morning and 20 ml in the evening, preferably before food. But if you have a weak gut or you have gastric issues, you may take it after food as well. So, yeah, that is for Hatsuno Kiseki. As for the research, I'm not sure how or what are the products that are being researched, or is it just generic postbiotics? So in our own research in breast cancer cells, what we did was we used our drink to administer it into the cell. Maybe Dr. Lim would be able to advise more on that, on how we did the research with Hatsuno Kiseki Royal. Dr. Lim.
Okay, so we actually tested on the breast cancer cells. So we take the Hatsuno Kiseki Royal like 100% and we dilute it to a certain percentage, and we test it on the cancer cells, the breast cancer cells, and we see how is the reaction, how does the the Kiseki actually kill the breast cancer cell in the lab. So here we actually found that a certain percentage, I couldn't remember which percentage, but that is a setting for the lab cells that will actually kill the breast cancer cells itself. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, I don't see any questions at the moment after Rich. So I do have a question. You know, after looking at your presentation, right? Are you saying that the research that we are doing and that we have planned to do are in line with what the international researchers are doing, and can I say that the results are quite similar? So, in other words, are we in the right direction in terms of research?
Okay. So if we see that some of the data that has been reported, so they did on the cells, then they did on the animals, then they even did on the humans. So we are actually on the stage. We are actually in the right path. We are developing the whole evidence base of Kiseki postbiotic to get the results that is in line with what the other researchers are actually doing worldwide. So in other words, yes, we are in the right path to get the evidence base for Kiseki in the cancer treatment or for the preventive. Yeah.
Okay. So, what about in terms of other diseases or other issues like autoimmune diseases? Will your lab be able to do those research as well, like for asthma and things like that? Like take for example asthma.
Okay. So we need to find a model for asthma. So it pretty much depending on whether you want to do in the cell model or you want to do in the animal model. So for sure, we need to come out with the guideline, everything. Then I think from the setting, we can plan and, can set up the model for the treatment of postbiotic. In this case, it will be Kiseki.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I don't have any other questions. Dr. Tan, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. So if that's the case, I guess that is all we have for today. For those who are watching reruns of this, you can actually post your questions too, and we will definitely reply to you as well. So don't be shy. So in our next session on the 15th of March with Dr. Tan, we will be talking about nutrition labeling, and he will be helping you understand the nutritional value of the food you consume by reading and understanding food labels. Is that right, Dr. Tan?
Yes.
Okay. Also, for those of you who have not liked or subscribed to our Facebook and YouTube page, it will really help us if you could hit the like button, subscribe button on both our pages. It would be really, really awesome. Okay, thank you. So thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope you find this session informative and empowering. So I hope to see all of you again, and perhaps you can also share with your friends on the next session, which is on the 15th of March. Okay, so thank you all. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.